Welcome to the Fit Marriage Show, the number one straight talk fitness show for busy folks. I'm so excited to be here with you today. My name is Dustin Riekman, and in today's interview, I get to talk to Jenny Cochran. And Jenny's the co-founder of E-Mealz, and it's an online meal planning service. You can see pictured here. It's one of my favorite things, and I've talked about it over on my other site at engagemarriage.com. And just the impact it's had on our family and particularly on our finances. But I wanted to talk to Jenny today because meal planning can have such a powerful impact on our health and on the wellness and well-being of our family. So we talk a lot about meal planning today. We dig into the history of E-Mealz and where this idea came from, and we talk a lot about the specifics of E-Mealz. So if you're interested in meal planning, definitely encourage you to check out this service. You'll see below the post that we do have a nice giveaway that Jenny was nice enough to share with our community. So if you're listening to this on iTunes, definitely come over to fitmarriage.com and look for this episode with the founder of E-Mealz to get involved with the giveaway and the discount. So without further ado, let's jump right in and talk to Jenny. Well, welcome back, everyone. Again, Dustin Riekman here. Very excited today to be joined by Jenny Cochran, who's the co-founder of E-Mealz. It's a meal planning service that my family's used for a long time, and I'm very passionate about it, and I'm very happy today to talk a lot about the subject of meal planning because I think it's vitally important not only for our health and fitness, but for our family life. So, Jenny, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's a real pleasure. I'm glad we were able to get together. I'd like to start out, if you would. I know you've had a lot of exciting things in your family lately, but just a little bit about your family and maybe the very beginnings of E-Mealz and how this whole thing came together.
Okay. Well, I'm married to Steve Cochran. He's an associate pastor and has been for the last 25 years or so.
Awesome.
We have three daughters. I have a 21-year-old who just got married last 2 weeks ago. So we're still coming down off of that mountain. And then I have two more daughters. I have a 16-year-old and a 14-year-old. So my husband is severely outnumbered.
I was going to say, it's not over yet then with all the marriage madness. So.
I know it, but he loves it, and he's such a great dad. But anyway, we've been. I'm actually from Alabama. I was raised in Alabama and call that home. But when I married my husband, we moved out to Texas and then Virginia. I didn't think I'd ever see Alabama again, and we were gone in ministry for about. We've been here 9 years, so almost 20 years. We were out of away from family, long way away from family.
And now you're back in Alabama?
And now we're back in Alabama.
Awesome.
And we moved back here about the same time that my sister Jane moved back here. She, as well, is a pastor's wife, and they had moved away from home, and God called them back to Alabama. So we all came back home about 2002. And,
okay.
It was just really, really crazy. And she and I have always been what we would consider entrepreneurial. And in that, what I really mean is that we turned over every rock we could find to make extra money for our family so we could stay home with our kids. Awesome. So we've always been working from home and just trying to generate a little income there to kind of supplement the pastor's salary. And, living on a budget, shopping the food sales, doing all the things that most ladies do to try to curb the expenditures, on a monthly basis. Yep. So when we found ourselves back close to each other. She was in Birmingham. I'm here in the Huntsville area, which is actually Madison, Alabama. We started talking about starting a company, and she had been chewing on this idea for quite some time that, for most moms and most families, you have to eat. Yeah. You have to buy food. It's just one of those necessities in life. But it can be such a drudgery and such a point of conflict and frustration for moms, depending on your bent. There are some women who are just type A, organized. They've got the list going. They've got the world by the tail.
Yeah.
But not all of us.
The extreme couponers on
and that's great. It's all. We love those people.
Yeah.
But for most of us, organization and staying on a schedule and those types of things come kind of hard, and you end up doing stuff on the fly, which can be very costly. In your budget, and it also just there's no continuity, there's no consistency, and so we started talking, and she was chewing on this idea. I know there's a way that we can serve women just like us, and that was kind of our focus in the beginning. We know we can help women who are just the same predicament we're in, and give a service that would be pertinent, relevant to their lives, and really help them. And so she started working on this meal planning idea, and that was really the seed of E-Mealz. And once we got it into a form, and of course, our first meal plan is hilarious. One day we will archive it on our website. See I mean, I don't even think Jane had a computer at the time. She didn't know how to do email. I mean, we were so, sort of computer illiterate in a lot of ways.
That's awesome.
And but we said, let's do this, and she called me and said, are you ready to jump in and do it? And I was so happy and so excited to come alongside her and help her launch this company. So we did, and that was in 2003.
Okay, 2003. So that's pretty quick then. I mean, 2002 you guys got back in Alabama, and by 2003 you had already launched this company and had a vision at least for what it would become. I know 8 years later it's probably hopefully it's exceeded your expectations. So.
Oh, yes. We knew the potential was there, but we had no idea. And watching that story unfold has been really exciting too, and just the right contacts at the right time, and like we've said, it's a relevant need for people. We knew we needed it. Jane and I are the typical woman who used this service. I mean, we knew it would work because it would work for us.
Yep.
And we knew there were probably hundreds and hundreds of people out there that would work for. So that's sort of how it got launched and started. We had a small group of ladies in the very beginning. I mean, I could count them on one hand. We were writing these meal plans and putting them out as fast as we could. And we started.
In the beginning, maybe you're going to say, I was just going to say in the beginning, was it more like you're typing it out and printing it off one at a time and mailing them, or was it an email service, or how did it work?
Actually, we sent the meal plan through email as an attachment, and that's how we started doing it. And we ran into lots of problems there with spamming and failed sending, and it had its issues. So we quickly started looking into a kind of a retrieval where you would come password protected into our website and retrieve your plan. So some of the old timers wish we'd go back to email. You have to remember every week. You have to remember I need to log in and get my meal plan, my weekly meal plan. So
every Tuesday night, my wife beckons me. Our printer for some reason only works with our Mac computer, which is mine. So it's every Tuesday night. It's like she likes to shop on Wednesday, and it's hey, you need to print off the meal plan, and we take a look at it. So that's an awesome story. And at the end of the interview, we'll get into kind of all the details as far as what all the meal plans are, how the process really works, and I guess to dovetail on what you said, we're the real prototypical family also that uses E-Mealz. Like I said, we've probably used it for at least over a year, and about midway through that year, my wife started staying home, and it was partly through better budgeting and better money management and all those things that allowed that. So it all really does tie together.
That's wonderful.
And one thing I was curious about too, it's maybe probably the way I originally found it, as probably many people you hear, is from Dave Ramsey. And I know you guys are endorsed by Dave Ramsey, and he mentioned you on the podcast. He's featured on your website, so that's really cool. And maybe you had the chance to interact with him at all, and how did that come about, I guess?
Well, we hired my sister, Judy, who's now all of my sisters work for E-Mealz.
Okay, I was going to ask you. It seemed like it's a family affair. So.
Yeah, I'm most amazing sisters, and what they bring to the table is just wonderful. And so she began pursuing a relationship with Dave Ramsey because we knew what we offered fit right into his teaching and his model. And so we began a relationship with them, and they really practice what they preach, and even the way that they treat their advertisers, they wanted to take good care of us and kind of give us baby steps. So we did. We started on the podcast, and which we were so surprised at how many people actually listen to radio.
Super popular podcast.
we were very surprised at the response. And then we moved up to XM radio, and then we moved into his nationally syndicated radio program, which once we got there, that's a pretty great wagon to be hitched to, and the response was overwhelming. And so we have, and they are so great. They really are family to us. They have sort of taken us embryonically and really helped us grow to where we are. And we've learned from them too. We went to Entree Leadership, which is his leadership.
And he has the Entree Leadership book coming out soon too. I saw.
Fantastic! If you've ever been, you need to go. It's a wonderful, great drink from the well of all of his experience, and then through the years, we just have a constant relationship with him, and it's been fantastic. It's a great, and that's a growing community. More and more people are really starting to grab hold of this, and it's it's come out of a great need, but it's he's been positioned at a great time. So
and we and we'll get on to the meal planning here in a second, because I know with the community that we have, we talk a lot about fitness, but I think there's a lot of interest in these other topics too. And I guess if someone wasn't familiar with Dave Ramsey, he's a financial guru, national talk show host, author of Financial Peace and Total Money Makeover, and a guy who's really changed my life. And so we've been debt free for, I guess, a little over 3 years now. And, following his plan, and like I said, he probably is the one that introduced us to E-Mealz.
Right.
Introduced me to Dan Miller, who eventually helped me make some career changes. So it all means a lot to me. So it's exciting to talk to you and hear the impact that's had for you all too.
Well, he tells people, the money budget line it can get totally out of control.
Yeah, for sure.
It's amazing what can happen, and when you start bringing it under some control and budget, you basically are giving yourself a raise by the money that you save on a monthly basis, and yeah, it's great. We were the typical mom with the list in our purse that had gum stuck to it, and maybe some Diet Coke spilled. And you can't even read what you've got on there, and then you forgot the condiments, and you pick up another bottle of ketchup, and you come home to find you already have 3 bottles in your, it can just be so redundant, and you spend so much extra money, and that's why planning it out. And our mom, just a little history on the whole E-Mealz idea. Yeah. We didn't even realize how our mom really had lived this out with us as kids. We were a pastor's family. She lived on a very tight budget, but we always food. And sitting down at the dinner table was always an experience and a feast. She was just a wonderful cook. But if she needed one tomato, she bought one tomato. she had a set, itinerary of what she was doing and a set plan. And whatever she needed, she just bought those items because she had no discretionary money to just, I remember going to the farmer's market to get fruit was a huge deal because fruit, fresh produce. Now, see, that's a little shift in our culture right now. People really want good foods. They want fresh produce. That we're looking at organic items. So it's a little shift in value right now, which we're trying to address at E-Mealz. Staying away from some of the more packaged, your processed foods and those things. For sure. Huge trend of that coming along. Whereas when I was growing up, that was kind of the trend was eating your pack. Betty Crocker was her best friend. But but anyway, so the point is, she lived on a budget. We lived in that culture and that climate, and we adopted that, and we really feel like it's just been fleshed out in this company. So
that's cool that it grows out of those traditional values. That's fantastic. So I have 3 little children, so hopefully the viewers aren't experiencing what I'm experiencing, but they sound like a herd of elephants above my head right now, so hopefully that won't distract everybody. But I think at this point I'd like to just I know you're a meal planning expert. Obviously you've been doing this as a business for 8 years, and then obviously before that even for your own family. I thought we'd just go through and talk about some of the benefits of meal planning, because so many people, I think, have an idea what it is, but it sounds like too much work, and maybe it's just not worth it. And so I'm sure that most people are like we were a year ago, where they just don't do it. They think they kind of get the same things week to week at the grocery store, so they think they're planning, but when you actually do a meal plan, it takes it to a whole new level of savings and health and time savings and a lot of other things. So I guess first of all, some of the benefits to our health. Obviously this is a fitness show.
Right.
What do you think are some of the benefits to our health and weight control and things like that from meal planning?
Yeah. Well, you've got I think just bringing it under some kind of control and is the first thing. If you're going to have a meal plan, like our meal plans are 7 meals, you purchase those items that will allow you to have 7 meals that week. So you're having to control just the amount of food that you buy.
Yeah. You
can't just arbitrarily eat whatever you want to out of the refrigerator, because you might be eating part of meal number 5, out of the drawer. And I know we have sort of a separate area where we keep our E-Mealz items, because I don't want my kids messing with that. Can't have that mango because that goes in my salsa for meal 5. But I want it, So you have to be disciplined. I think discipline is probably the big D word that people don't like, and it discipline can be your best friend.
Yep.
But if you've not been disciplined in this area, if you're a spontaneous person, what do I feel like eating tonight? With a meal plan, you've got these meals, and tonight we're having chicken cranberry green salad. That's what we're doing.
And kind of what we do to keep some of the spontaneity. If we have 7 meals, it might be Tuesday. We'll usually choose in the morning. That way it can be prepared, for after work. But we have some flexibility still of, are we eating, we have 4 meals left, so which one do we feel like tonight of the 4? So we still keep a little bit of the spontaneity.
And that's good.
But you do, I think on the health side of things, you do lose the, I don't know if I call it spontaneity, but the ability to say, well, I don't know, we don't have any groceries, or I don't really feel like cooking what we have, so let's order pizza. So I think the fact that you're already locked into at least your dinners every day, that's helped us a ton as far as eating healthy.
Yeah, it does. And we try our best to provide a well-balanced approach. This isn't going to win. It's just sort of our family meal plans aren't going to win any, hardcore nutritional awards. But
Sure.
but we try to keep it simple. Provide some kind of a side dish, vegetable, fruit, with most of the meals. People will probably consume more vegetables and fruit doing E-Mealz than they normally would.
Yeah.
That's the easiest thing to sort of toss aside, depending on your family. But just offering that balanced approach, working in those vegetables, we try to work those in every week, and that's great. It's great for my family. We eat more healthy, and I'm the first to attest that I fall off the E-Mealz wagon all the time. It's easy to do, and you'll just watch it snowball into, when is the last time I cooked a really nice meal at home, or got to get back on. It's just easy to do. So there's no judgment out here. We know it's easy to do, but to give this a try, I think the best thing to do is when you sign up for E-Mealz is just commit. Okay, I'm going to do this for 4 weeks, and I'm going to see what happens. What happens to my family life? What happens to my time use? Budget wise, what happens?
Yeah.
And health wise, are we eating better? There's I found, this is maybe a good word for some of your viewers, young families, because little kids can be picky.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like I've had ladies say, I just hold up the meal plan and say, now the E-Mealz ladies said we need to eat today. We're gonna have sauteed squash because the E-Mealz ladies said we need to eat. And it kind of takes the mama's not the bad guy anymore.
Yeah.
It's those E-Mealz ladies, and their kids are eating foods they've never eaten, and they're like, and they like it. They're like, I would have never tried that. I would have thought, no way my kid would touch that. But somehow, since it's on the meal plan, they're eating it, and so I think it has helped and raised the health level for lots of young families and other families around for that reason. So I think that's kind of funny.
Yeah, no doubt. And
yeah,
I wish I could just say it was just our kids. So my one of our kids is real picky, and we do what we can with him, but I was very picky. I've always been a very picky eater. But I was the gung-ho one about E-Mealz, mostly for saving money at the time that we signed up. I'm like, man, our grocery budget is out of control, and worse than that, our restaurant, spending is just insane. We need to be eating at home more. And so I was the one pushing it, and my wife said, well, okay, but there's going to be some foods on here, and you're the picky one. And so my commitment was I'll try everything. And I'd say 90% of the things I've tried I've enjoyed. And so it's been a lot to me just to open up and try fruits and vegetables and things that I would normally shun aside. And I because I committed to it, I'm actually trying it. And she's pretty excited because it's opened up a world of possibilities as far as meal preparation. So it's very cool.
Good.
So yeah, let's talk. You mentioned a little bit about budget. We know obviously it's endorsed by Dave Ramsey, but what kind of stories, I guess, and what kind of impact have you heard about money?
Oh, well, the comments that we get from people have flooded in from day one, and truthfully, it is humbling when you get these gushy letters from people. They're so grateful, and the amount of money that they're saving is really it's amazing. I mean, if you went to the grocery store every day to get your dinner, and that's just, getting those items for dinner, you're still going to put out $25-$30 every time.
Yep. I
don't know what that is. I'm not sure. It's usually spontaneous purchasing or impulse buying, where you grab a little of that, you grab this over here. Next thing you know, you've spent even if it's $20 a day.
Easy.
That's easy,
Yeah.
20 to 25. That's $140, $160 a week, easy, that you would spend if you just went every day. And a lot of people do that. They decide what they're going to have. They run to the store, they grab a few things.
Yep.
They end up buying a whole bag of potatoes. They only needed 5.
Right. You end up throwing away so much food. Yeah.
Just extra spending. So, the magic of making a plan and planning that out, it's amazing how much money you save. And I was going to tell you in the very beginning of E-Mealz, our initial model was we're going to plan the meals based on what's on sale at the grocery store.
Yeah.
And we still do that. We still have 6 plans that are based on sales. But when we launched E-Mealz within the first year, we were flooded with requests. These ladies and gentlemen, families, they were saying, we like the idea of buying the foods that are on sale, but just give us a plan. We really don't care. I mean, because truly, if you plan, you will save, even if you can't take advantage of the sale items.
Yep. I'd say that's like the icing on top, because where we live, we don't have a store-specific meal plan that works for us. So we have the any store plan, which then you don't get to take advantage of the sales. But I wrote a post on Engage Marriage, my marriage website, just a couple weeks ago, and I think the number was $217. I went back and looked at how much we had saved, and I think it was like $217 a month of our kind of before E-Mealz and after E-Mealz. And a lot of that for us was less restaurant eating out during the week, but then also just the raw grocery budget had been slashed. And that's even without having the advantage of timing the sales like some of your store-specific plans do. So
we need to put a link on our blog to go to read your blog, because that would be so neat to hear your take on all of that and how. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I'll send that to you or to Heather there in your office.
That'd be great, because those testimonials are fantastic. To really see it being fleshed out in people's lives and what it can do. So the money savings has been a huge thing about E-Mealz, and that was the reason that we started branching out, because people were asking for some of the more specialty plans.
Yeah,
because there are a lot of people that either eat low fat or low carb, or the gluten-free issue has become huge.
Yeah.
And so we branched out and found a huge market out there for just plan the meal for me, please. Of course, they really would love us if we'd come to their house and cook their meals too.
Feed it to them.
We're sorry, we're not coming to your house to cook your meals. We love you, but we're just your mental maid. That's what we call ourselves, our mental maids. And let me just mention something that made me think about when I had my little kids at home, and since that's your main audience.
Yeah.
I think the bane for most women about cooking is the cleanup.
Yeah.
It's like after you've cooked and you're exhausted and you're you've eaten your meal and you're so relaxed. Well, then you have to get up and clean up, and I just want to, most families probably do this. And I know you're probably one of those wonderful husbands who takes the mantle, but take and clean up.
I'm looking over my shoulder to see if my wife was around, but
take the cleanup mantle, get the kids involved to serve mom.
Yeah.
Because I think that's why moms love to go out to eat. Somebody else cooking the meal and cleaning up. I don't have to clean up.
Yeah,
it's such a treat. And I think family life and cooking on a daily basis for your family can be much more doable and much more desirable, and actually something that can be attained if some help we come in
sustainable for a long time. Yeah,
you bet. Yeah, just get those kids, take their plates to the sink, and let's all help mommy. And teaches them to be a servant, and lightens that burden for her. And I think that changes a lot of the motivation for a mom to know she's got that kind of support.
No, those are excellent points, and we do that part. And one thing, I don't probably do it as often as I should, but the other nice thing about E-Mealz is not only is it in any meal plan, but not only is it giving you the groceries to buy in the shopping list, but it's got the recipe. So even I can follow these recipes. So I kind of can't plead ignorance anymore, because I know the ingredients are here in the fridge, and I know how to make them. So if there is a night where she's going to be gone a little later, then it allows me to be able to cook instead. And that's great, because before we had a plan, she did most of the cooking, and I didn't really know how, and legitimately I just never paid enough attention to know how to cook some of those things. But now I actually have recipes, a big folder full of old E-Mealz recipes. So
yeah, that's great. Yeah, we've had a lot of write-ins from gals who didn't know how to cook at all, because their mother may have been a career woman and they ate out a lot. They really weren't. That was not passed on how to cook, and they're like, I don't even know how to boil water. What do you do? And E-Mealz has been a great training for them, because our instructions are simple, and they can follow them. And we've had a number of people thank us for teaching them how to cook, which we're just so humbled. We're like, that is so sweet that to think we're helping a newlywed couple or a young mom,
Yeah.
We've also had some tremendous encouragement from some ladies that suffer from ADD. Some of your more issues where they have a hard time staying on schedule or staying focused, and how this was an issue of failure for them, taking care of their families on any kind of routine basis, and finding E-Mealz and having this tool has just set them free and given them a success. And that's just been so precious. We just didn't realize. We knew the need was great because it was in our lives, but we had no idea how many different avenues we would find that would be such a help to people. So
that's so cool.
awesome.
Yeah. And I guess kind of the third thing that at least I came to mind with benefits, and I know your blog is about reclaiming your family time.
Yeah.
I think that's vital, especially for young, busy families where we have so many things going on. So how does meal planning help reclaim your family time? And then just in general, kind of what are your thoughts on like the family dinner and the importance of that?
Well, I was so encouraged to go to your website and read the heart behind your service to people and help to people, because our culture is so fast paced. It just continues to accelerate, and you feel as a young dad, a young mom, you got to get your Susie's got to be involved in these 5 things. Johnny's got to be involved in these 5. Next thing you know, you're like, where what are we? A taxi service?
Exactly,
you are in the car all the time, but you have to eat. I mean, we have to eat. That is an absolute thing you are going to do every day.
Yeah.
Why not buy that absolute and give it to your family around the table? Most families can't do it every night. To hit 4 or 5 nights a week where you're at home, to me that's a fantastic goal. But what we try to encourage people to realize is that it's in the everyday mundane things, that the constants in your life that show your kids that they matter and that you love them. And it's so easy for parents to lose the vision of every time I help my kid put on their shoes or change a dirty diaper or get a glass of milk or tuck them in bed, walk up the stairs, put them to bed. It's those little things that build a lifetime of memory and constancy that tells your kid, you matter to me. It doesn't have to be a new toy. It doesn't have to be a new event. It's those everyday mundane things that really do, are we good?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, it's kind
the Skype will have some hiccups from time to time, but I think we're good.
I'm new to Skype, so I was like, oh no, what happened? But it's those everyday mundane things that really give the sort of weave, like my sister Jane put so beautifully. It's the weaving of the fabric of their lives, and gives them that strength and that security. So, dinner time, to have a plan, for mom to know that I have enough food in my fridge for 5 to 7 meals. It's there. It's decided. All I have to do is cook it. The likelihood of dinner actually happening it just grows, exponentially. I mean, you can't, the difference is amazing. So
because you start to plan around it. I mean, then the t-ball games are there, but you either get home a little early from work so you can do it before, or you just get home right afterward and eat after. And we just went through that. Both my kids were on a t-ball team. I was the coach, so it was a full commitment. I think we had 18 games, but we managed. I think maybe one time in the whole season we ate out. Whereas last season we ate out pretty much after every game. It was a drive-through McDonald's or something that's just rotten for the kids. And instead now we're able to still have some family time, and we obviously what we would do then is shift to make the really quick preparation meals, for those nights, because that would only take 10 minutes to put together, and we were ready to eat when we got home.
Yeah.
So.
That's great. I'm so glad to see that, you actually try to implement that and see if that would work. And it does. It just takes a little, taking this tool and using it,
Yeah.
So did I address all of that as far as the importance of mealtime? I mean, I'll just tell y'all, because I'm a little ahead of the curve than you guys, and now I'm in my 50s.
Yeah, you got the first daughter's married off now.
No, just married my daughter off, and it goes by so fast.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're in the everyday, and it just it's tough and it's grueling, it's exhausting. The next thing you know, they're taller than you and they're going off to college. I mean, it's just like, what happened? I mean, it truly, if I could, and I don't know if all moms feel this way, but if I could just rewind and buy back some of that time. And I see young families with their little kids, and also to just add to that, doing whatever you can to make this time in your life an enjoyable time where you look on it with joy and with this is to be treasured, because they are not little for long.
Yeah.
And it is a wonderful time. And somehow in the midst of our crazy lives, which was very stressful, and just like most families, I really felt like I was able to hang on to that sense of treasuring this. This is a joy. I mean, it may seem like the humdrum and it's exhausting and all the strollers and the diaper bags and all this, but this is a treasure of a time. And anything you can do to buoy that, and I think meal planning is it's there. Use it. I mean, let us help you make your family life more peaceful, more consistent, and it will add to the joy of your life. So.
Well, no, you did a great job of answering that. What's the URL of your blog? I mean, where can people find your blog? Because it's really focused on making time for your family, right?
Yeah, I would just encourage you to go to the website.
Yeah.
You can go to E-Mealz.com.
And now you have the newly designed website as well.
So come check it out. Mealtimemakeover.com will also take you to our website, and then there's a blog link, and it says check out our blog or follow our blog. So that'd be the easiest way to get there.
Okay.
And it's great. We have a lot of fun with it, and I think it's helpful to people.
Yeah, I enjoy it. Yeah, I'm a subscriber to the blog part, so that's
good.
Cool.
So you're following the wedding pics and all that good stuff.
Yeah, I saw the flying lanterns, I think they're called, from your daughter's wedding. That stuck with me. I thought that was really cool. So
yeah, it was quite the memory. Let me tell you, it was awesome. Sorry, I keep losing the light there. Okay.
Well, I think now maybe we'll wrap up here at the very end, maybe with any other tips or anything you have. But I think right now it would help everyone. We've talked a lot about meal planning in general, and obviously you have E-Mealz. Just kind of how it works, so what the process is for E-Mealz. And I know there's a ton of different options. So just kind of an overview of some of the different options, particularly for people who are trying to eat healthy, some of the options that they would have through E-Mealz. Okay.
Well, when you go to our website, the way you get E-Mealz is to subscribe, and it's a 3-month recurring subscription. It's $5 a month, so you pay $15 every 3 months.
Yeah, which is insanely cheap when you consider, I'm saving over $200 a month. The $5 investment. You could follow one meal plan one time, one meal one time for the whole month and save more than $5. So.
I know. Thank you, Dustin. Thank you very much. Yeah, it is. It breaks down to $1.25 a week. So it's so worth the money. It's a no-brainer. That's what Dave Ramsey says. But when you sign up, just remember it's a recurring subscription, automatic. So if you want to cancel, you can actually sign up and cancel at any time, and you'll still have access to your 3-month subscription. So, but it automatically renews on your 3-month mark. And we have the regular family meal plans, which are we have Kroger, Publix, Walmart, and we also have Ralph's, which is in California, Aldi's, which is sort of all over the place, scattered here and there.
I think they're like the fastest growing food chain right now, so that's good.
Is it really? Yeah. Oh, good.
Everyone's in the discount grocery, so.
I know. It's amazing. And we also have our meal plans for 2, which we started once we had young couples calling in, or we had singles, roommates, empty nesters. There's
that's
only 2
actually
of us.
What we do, because our kids are 6'4" and less than 1.
Yeah.
So if they do eat, a lot of times they do eat what we're eating, but it's such small portions that we just cook for 2, and the portions are perfectly sized for that. Or if they don't eat it, then we have a little bit left over for lunch. So yeah.
That's great. That's great to hear that actually, because we do have a lot of young couples like you who do that, and it's great to hear from you that really does work, because there's only 5 meals on the meal plans for 2. Whereas the family meals, there's meal plans, there's 7 meals. And then we branched out into we have the gluten-free, low carb, low fat. We have the portion control, which helps you count in your portional. We're trying to use the right verbiage here, but
you don't want to slip up. But I know that used to be called more like the points plan, and it was more of a parallel to the Weight Watchers point plan, right?
Yeah, but we had to change that.
Right.
And that's fine. So we have more of a portion control plan. We have the vegetarian plans, and we also, some of those we have for 2 as well. So there's just a great variety of different eating styles, eating approaches, and Dustin, eating food is not, it's a very personal thing, and E-Mealz isn't for everybody. Some people are going to get on there and just go, I just don't eat like this. This is just not our style.
Sure.
And that's fine. There's other options out there, but for people who just love good basic food, I mean, we try to do a variety with chicken and beef and some pork
And
and
some
some
fish too. I know we probably eat more fish. There's not a lot of fish in there, but we never ate fish at all. So now that we've introduced more of the tilapias and some, just some nice basic white fish that is good and healthy for you. And we eat definitely more fish now than we ever did.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's so good because it's so good for you.
Yeah.
And then we try to add a sandwich meal or a salad meal, and introduce those kind of things. So we try to keep it interesting, and we do that with all of our plans. We try to keep that variety there, as well as with our side dishes and that sort of thing. So
yeah, and the variety is incredible because, like I said, we've been doing it for like a year. I think the guarantee is that most things don't repeat, other than maybe every 6 months.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we've had a few meals that repeated over a year. But it was so far apart that we didn't remember, So it feels like every week is a whole new set of meals, and we plan on staying subscribed forever. So we're just gonna keep getting new meals. But my wife does stockpile those, and so if we do find we get a week where there's 2 meals that we just don't like or we're not gonna have time for, then we just go back and pull out something that we flagged as that we really liked, and she adds that into the grocery list instead.
That's awesome. Yeah, when you get your meal plan, a couple of little just tidbits. When you download your meal plan every week, and you just print it and put the actual meal plan on your fridge or near where you cook. You take your I would take a look at it. Just look over it real good. On the grocery list, we have a place where we have staples needed for each meal, and it's down here on the bottom, and it's denoted with the meal that it corresponds to. And you just need to take a look at that and see if you have these items in your pantry, and just check them off. If you've got them, great. But if you don't, make a note and pick those up at the grocery store too. Every now and then there'll be a couple of things here that maybe you don't have or you've run out of.
Yeah.
But that's just a user point right there, that pointer that
great.
You guys need. Yeah.
And for people who are on the video, they saw that you just held up 2 pieces of paper. If you're just listening to the audio, basically what happens when you print it off, one piece of paper is the actual meal plans with the recipes, and then the separate piece of paper is a grocery list. So it tells you exactly what to buy at the grocery store, and things are numbered. So if there's a meal that you didn't like, you can just cross off that number of those items, and it makes it real easy. And the other thing that's kind of cool that I've noticed, that within a given week, you might reuse some of the more obscure ingredients. So you might buy a mango or something like you said earlier, and you might use it for 2 different dishes. So that way you can kind of use leftover portions of some foods, because those are the type of things you're not going to use on a week to week basis. So
yeah, good point.
Well, good. I can't imagine the total number of recipes you're publishing each week, because there's so many different plans. It's amazing, and
our database is just chock full, and they're all tried and tested, and family passed the muster, from our families. So this is an organic. What I mean by that is this is not a database driven meal plan. These are real ladies sitting down, looking at a meal plan and writing a meal plan. And we think that gives us an edge that's worth the trouble. Where you have real people who are looking at that going, oh, I think that rice would be really good with that shrimp, and you get that yummy factor going where you're like, oh, that sounds really yummy. And I think that helps our meal plans really stay good and fresh, and we're going to continue doing that. We just think that's part of what we offer, So
yeah. No, and well, you already know I'm a big fan. I won't keep going on, but I definitely encourage everybody to check it out. And what we're gonna do, we're actually gonna have a giveaway associated for this podcast. So when it's published, definitely come back to fitmarriage.com, check out this post, and underneath you'll find a link and all the information. We'll have a nice giveaway that Jenny was kind enough to give to our audience. So Jenny, is there any other kind of parting words of advice for those young busy couples out there?
Well, if you've never done meal planning, and it does sound like a discipline you're not ready to do, just give it a try. I mean, $15, give it a try. You might think it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. It might work great for you, and to really give yourself a chance to see the benefits of it on all these different levels that we've talked about. Financially, you will definitely see the benefits right away, and be amazed that you can for what you typically would spend to go out to eat, you can buy the entire meal plan. Yeah. I mean, because really, if you got to a nice restaurant, maybe a couple of times, depending on how big your family is. But
we joked a little story to interject is my wife and I's 10-year anniversary, and so 2 weeks ago, I think we we had a weekend, kind of a staycation here in St. Louis, and
Okay.
we went to a great steakhouse, and we ate, and it was very expensive, and we kind of looked at each other like, dang, this was like a whole week's worth of groceries.
No, I know. It's like, was it that good?
Yeah, yeah.
No, I know.
No,
So
that's a great point, though.
That's what I would say. Just give it a try. Give it a try. You'll be amazed. And you'll eat some new food too. That's for sure. It's a nice variety,
Yep.
which is refreshing.
I agree.
Okay.
All right, Jenny. Well, definitely appreciate your time. Encourage everyone to check out E-Mealz. Again, check out the link from our blog, and we'll get everybody hooked up with a nice deal. And enjoy the rest of your day.
Okay. Thanks. It's so great to meet you, Dustin.
You too. Thanks.
Take care.
And there you have it. I hope you enjoyed that interview with Jenny Cochran. I know that I loved it. She's such a sweet, great gal. So much wisdom to impart on the topic of meal planning, and it's just so important. Like she mentioned at the end of the interview, my biggest encouragement to you would be just to give it a try. And to help you with that, we do have a giveaway and a discount here for Fit Marriage community members. So definitely, come check out the giveaway, get involved, and whether you win the giveaway or not, just give it a shot. There's no way you won't save more than $1.25 a week by using a meal planning service. And I know there are some other ones out there which are probably all fantastic as well. But we've used E-Mealz for a long time in my family, and I can only give you my best, strongest endorsement. This is actually the blog that we had mentioned in the interview. So if you're watching this on the video, you can see the Make Time for Family blog. There's a lot of great stuff in here too, so I'd encourage you to check it out. You can see the picture here, some coupons and some hot deals of the week. There's a lot of that. There's some good kind of family-oriented content about the importance of making time for mealtime with our families. So definitely check that out. And if you're listening to us on iTunes, make sure to come over to fitmarriage.com and see all we have going on. And if you're on fitmarriage.com watching the video version, be sure to subscribe via iTunes so that you don't miss any of the episodes. It's real easy. Just click the link here on the blog, and we'll get you all set up so you don't miss a thing. And until next time, this is Dustin Riekman. Thank you for visiting the Fit Marriage Show.